In the space of the premium cultivation room, everything was enveloped in a solemn silence. Just from that elated expression, one could tell Yi. He was barely able to hide his anticipation. Mischief showed on his face, his hands rubbing continuously, as if finally unimpeded, the monster king, inside him about to go mad from hunger. Suddenly, countless spirit stones of every color rained down from above. He held out his hands to catch them, savoring the moment, for all the monster cores he had amassed plus the supplements and purchases from Huadu were being used now. Supplying a large amount of monster cores at once to raise compatibility meant he would enter a deep chrysalis-like sleep and emit an extremely strong radiation. He was so pleased that he had Nuwa, the little electronic maid, open for him the most isolated room. "Greetings, master," her mechanical voice chimed. Since acquiring Nuwa, Huadu had become his private domain. He only needed to issue commands directly, without any cumbersome procedures. His voice brimmed with excitement. "When others have privileges, I resent them. But when I have privileges myself, it's intoxicating," he ordered. "Nuwa, activate the cultivation room's energy shielding. I'm ready to begin." Nuwa immediately reported. "Master Yi, energy levels still haven't reached the required threshold." He kept supplying monster cores, but the system stubbornly repeated, "Still not enough." He froze. Still not enough. The higher the compatibility, the harder it is to break through. The quantity and quality of monster cores required skyrockets exponentially. The flaw of high-tier templates is their excessively long maturation time, massive resource consumption, and the inability to convert gained power quickly, slowing growth. Therefore, he still had to study martial ways alongside the extraordinary system. A warning suddenly flashed on the screen. A strong energy fluctuation signal detected. The system immediately blocked the information level Pharaoh was sending and adjusted energy to maximum. "If you're going to hack smart," he said with a dry smile. "In the end, that person will fail." At that moment, the wall clock blinked the time, 3 hours, 35 minutes, and 44 seconds. His whole body was wrapped in a gigantic luminescent blue cocoon, bristling with sharp spines. Though astonishingly thick, one could still see him suspended inside, amid an endless black void. Within the sturdy cocoon, his eyes burned with fierce ambition. "He roared. "When the crystal coffin opens, that will be the moment the Monster King descends." The scene shifted to the sky over Huadu, darker and tenser than usual. Today, Huadu University was dispatching fighters to reclaim territories occupied by monsters. Massive warships skimmed by like airborne nuclear bombs. The headmaster had been present since dawn. He hovered in midair and solemnly declared, "Today, Operation Reclaim Great Sia officially begins. 70% of the country's fighters will set out." He swept a sharp gaze across the formation and announced the objective in a stern voice. "Huadu University's fighters must retake 12 fallen cities." Below, everyone focused intently on each word. Below, all the students had assembled in neat, solemn ranks. They carried determination, for their mission was to help free the country from the claws of the beasts. The headmaster raised his voice heroically, urging the whole school. Huadu students ignite the Langyan blood. A resounding "yes" echoed across the campus. Spirit exploded. Energy surged everywhere, blending with the headmaster's stirring voice. Using his internal force, he didn't need a loudspeaker for his voice to carry far. "Your Langyan blood will converge in the sky, interact, and erupt through the clash of weapons and bloodlines." He continued to kindle the young fighter's will. "This is the spirit we pledge to reclaim our lost land with our lives, to restore Huadu University." At that instant, from the floating ground a pillar of blazing red light shot straight up. Spreading his arms wide, he admonished, "You are familiar with the mission and the plans. I know many of you are prepared to sacrifice." He suddenly paused, leaving a heavy silence. He strengthened his voice with resolve. "The most important thing, you must survive and return. Only by living is there hope. And your strength is the faith of the future." The hall listened as if his words were carved into their heart. He declared decisively, "Huadu will always be your home, waiting for your return." His words carried the determination to regain territory, a shared emotion of the whole nation. The headmaster raised his arm, momentum erupting like a waterfall. "All fighters of Dai University swear your oath with me." He clenched his fist and shouted resolutely, "Ahead of us there are no rivals." All the students cried out in unison. "Before us, absolutely no enemy," the sound rolling out in thunderous waves. Contrasting the fervent atmosphere outside, The first cracks began to appear in Yi He's cocoon. Yi He's eyes were pitch black, mysterious as an abyss. He waited for the moment he would be strong enough to break the cocoon and emerge in a new form, perhaps unleashing a chaos that would shake heaven and earth. The scene shifted to another area, where the decisive footsteps of a woman walking down a corridor echoed. That woman was Yu Yan, formerly a Level 2 researcher at Prometheus, now a senior manager at Thunderstrike Bird. As she appeared, 2 guards immediately bowed and greeted her. Manager Yu. Anger showed on her face, her brows knitted. She spoke harshly about the recent string of incidents. The Golden Gene stolen, a key base attacked, an elite team wiped out. The cascade of events made the board suspicious despite lacking proof. Even though He Shi had erased traces at the Golden Mountain Temple base, Dragon Badge still suspected Thunderstrike Bird, merely because he was currently occupied rebuilding Fallen Abyss, so their plan hadn't been foiled yet. Then her tone softened as if calculating something. With the nation's attention focused on Fallen Abyss, Thunderstrike Bird seized this chaotic moment to release that creature. It was a defective product from the first generation of the Golden Gene experiments. A Pandora's box that, with a single slip, could plunge humanity into the abyss. Though a failure, it still carried the Golden Gene, and thus could sense the location of the stolen gene. Hard to control, it remained the only hound capable of tracking the Golden Gene. Now Yu Yan stood before a vast secret chamber, equipped with extremely advanced technology. She slipped her hand into her lab coat pocket and pulled out a jangling bunch of metal keys. One by one, she inserted the keys into their corresponding locks with swift, precise movements, showing she'd done this countless times. In just a few seconds, the heavy metal door swung open. Inside revealed a gigantic bronze face. The dim light made it appear to curl its lip in a grimace, giving a chilling impression. When the lights came on, the statue's grotesque form became clear, as if containing something within. A tangle of red cables plunged into its head. Yu Yan stepped slowly into the center of the room. She immediately shoved a handful of pills into her mouth, chewing voraciously until some fell to the floor. Her face contorted and grew ferocious as planned. Chewing and laughing wickedly, she hissed, "It's time for the world to see your horror, ha ha ha."